Okay. Hey, it says live stream. My goodness, this was complicated to get set up. But I've never tried to do. I've never used this app before. I've used it a couple of times to look at other. What do we call each other? Twitchers? Twitchies? Streamers? I don't know. But I've never tried to use it to do this. So this is my first time. Um, I'm nervous because I've made videos of myself talking before that I've shared with really close friends on YouTube, but I've never done anything live like this where any random stranger can pop in and see me. So I'm nervous. Um, but I feel like I could possibly have something of value and worth to speak and share with the world through talking about my ideas and my experiences and my life and stuff I'm doing and whatever. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to set up a schedule or anything yet because my work schedule is really erratic. It's very flexible and it's actually conducive to being able to do this. But it's going to depend a lot on how I feel, my mood. And anyway, one of the things I know a lot about is living with depression, and that's a thing I'm interested in talking about and sharing ideas about. One of my biggest hobbies, I guess you could call it, is to visit and hang out in cemeteries. It's morphed tremendously over the years that I've been a cemetery groupie, a taphophile. Started out just as a moody thing. The mood of being in a cemetery was comforting to me as a child, and hanging out with my grandmother in cemeteries in Ohio when I was a kid with her. She did genealogy, and so she knew where everybody in the family was buried. I said Ohio, right? Yeah. And that got under my skin. And so about 20 years ago, I had some free time in my life, and I created a project for myself. I came up with an idea for a story. Actually, it started as an idea for a story, but then it turned into a photo project, and all inspired by my grandmother, my grandmother, the cemetery girl, the cemetery lady. So that's what I'm thinking. I will go to cemeteries, and I will walk through cemeteries, and I will talk about what comes to mind when I look around and see things in cemeteries. I don't claim this publicly. I claim it to a couple of close friends that I'm a psychic medium. I'm also a Reiki master, and I talk to the dead. I do. I talk to the dead every day. I believe it's possible. I believe it's worthwhile effort to invest your time and energy into doing that. Hey, I've got a viewer. Somebody found me. I'm whoever you are. Hi, and I'm just talking about what I intend to do with my connection in this using this application. So I was just talking about my interest in cemeteries, and that I want to go to some of my local cemeteries, my favorite local cemeteries, and walk through the cemeteries and describe what I see and what I feel. Um, I have my best friend and I go to cemeteries a lot together, and um, we do what we consider to be ghost spirit communication. And we've kind of have a system that we've developed on our own. We don't really do it the way a lot of other people do it. But we use some tools. She uses a ghost box or a spirit radio, whatever she calls it. I can't remember what she calls it. We started using a Ouija board recently, and we have had just really amazing experiences. But I just told her tonight that I'm going to start doing this, and I'm going to try to go to a cemetery and talk about what I experienced. And she said, "You go do that." She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to do live streaming. So maybe, I don't know, maybe someday she'll come in and do it with me, but I'll see how it goes. Um, yes, let me think what else. I also, in the beginning, before you clicked in here, whoever you are, um, I was talking about one thing I know a lot about is living with depression. I was diagnosed as being bipolar about 25 years ago, and I've gone through so many changes. Oh my God, for how bad it was to how good my life is now living with this diagnosis. Um, so that's something I could talk about. Let me think what else. I was talk. Oh, I didn't talk. I mentioned a photo project involving cemeteries. Um, I don't do that anymore. I did a large, long-term, like 7-year long photo project of photographing women in cemeteries, and it came from the inspiration of a story idea I came up with, and I began to write a novel. And the main character in this novel was a girl, a young woman. She was in her teens, the way I created her in this story, that spent a lot of time in cemeteries. And then there was the the day something clicked, and I said, it might help me if I had a picture or two of a girl in a cemetery that fits the picture of who and what I'm trying to describe in my novel. And so I asked a friend of mine to let me take some pictures of her, and the pictures came out so good. They were just like exactly the image I had in my mind of who the character novel was. And she showed the pictures to a friend of hers, and the friend really liked the pictures, and the friend said, "Hey, do you think he would take some pictures of me?" And I didn't ever think I would do it again. I thought, this is what my goal was, to get these pictures of my character, and this girl did it. And then I said, well, okay, that might be fun, because I enjoyed photography. I thought, okay, yeah, why not? And so we took pictures of this other girl, and they came out completely different. I mean, the personality that came out, the way she presented herself in the cemetery, it still fit the ideation I had of getting a picture of my character from my novel. But it was just totally different. They were totally different looking girls. One was a blonde with really short hair. The other was a brunette with really long hair. They dressed differently. They acted differently. And then I started to think, maybe this isn't a hit and miss kind of thing. Maybe you've kind of like hit into something really important here. And so when the second girl showed pictures to a friend of hers, and then that girl said, "Hey, do you think he would take pictures of me too?" Then I had three, and then it snowballed. And in 7 years' time, I photographed over 120 different models, men and women, but mainly women, in cemeteries, and all different ages. The youngest, I think, was a 12-year-old girl. Her mother had posed for me. And then she said, "Hey, I got somebody else for you to model for you." And it was like, "My daughter." And I said, "Okay, sure." But I had somebody as old as in her 60s. Well, in fact, even my mom. My mom is one of the cemetery girls. My mom and her mom, the grandmother that got me interested in cemeteries when I was a kid. So my mom getting to be included in the photo collection was really special. Okay, anyway, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? This has been 11 minutes already. I'm not going to talk much longer because this was really just me trying to see if I could find my voice and come across here. And actually, I feel kind of comfortable with this. Another thing I'm interested in, but not as a student, I'm kind of like a sideline observer, is astrology. My best friend, she is like a master astrologer, and anytime something's going on, like tonight I said, it was around 2, maybe 3 hours ago, my mood started to shift, and I had had a really positive energy day. I felt really good today, and my mood started to shift into a little bit of a sad feeling. And my friend had told me before that emotional experiences can be connected to the moon. And so I said to her, I texted her and I said, "Is my moon doing something weird tonight?" And she looked it up and she said, "Yeah, it's doing this." And she gave me really specific implications of what my moon, who it's transiting with right now, etc., that kind of stuff. And it fit. And I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly what I'm feeling." But see, I don't have the brain power to memorize all the astrology stuff. For her, it's just like she just has it down. So I rely on her for that. But I'm always encouraging people I know to start, to research and study their own astrology charts. And I found recently that ChatGPT is really powerful at doing astrological analysis. So I've been getting a lot of my own feedback, both from my friend, but also from the ChatGPT. And so it's more of a personal study than something I'm good at using. I'm still learning it, but I don't think I'll ever be as good at it as my friend is. And that's okay. I'm not looking to make it a career or profession, or I don't know. Okay, 13 minutes. Okay, whoever you are, if you want to ask me a question or something, I'd be happy to respond to you. But otherwise, I think I might wrap it up for now. Yeah, okay. I can't promise when I'll be back. I might just come on spontaneously, like during the day when I feel inspired, or I have got some privacy and I can just do this and just pop in for really quick. I kind of look at this as being a therapy thing, like a self-therapy thing, getting to talk out loud, being able to share ideas that I'm going through and get feedback from people. So that would be really cool. Or if people have questions for me, I can, tell you what I think. Okay. I think to stop this, I hit this button down here, so I hate to go because you're still here, but anyway, I'm going to say goodnight. Okay, goodbye.